Hello, my name is Kelly Smith, and welcome back to the Living a Healthier FCS Lifestyle series. In this video, you will learn actionable tips that you can use today when shopping, cooking, or eating out. We also learn the importance of developing a team of healthcare professionals to help keep you on track medically and nutritionally. One of those people is Mary, a registered dietitian who has worked with FCS patients. When living an FCS-friendly lifestyle, it's important to understand what we call the 3 Ps: positivity, planning, and preparation. So let's talk about the first P, positivity.
Very important.
Very
positivity. Look toward the positive and do things to relieve stress in our lives.
Maybe exercise?
Oh my gosh, exercise is the best.
Good.
So good for you anyway, because of course not everybody wants to go to a gym, so you could just go out and take a walk and enjoy the fresh air. You might even try a yoga class and look at foods that you're really craving and discover new ways to make them by substituting some of your favorite old high-fat things for some of the great low and very low-fat foods that are available. The new vegetable spiralizers, those are so much fun to use, and there's so many other things that people can get excited about in the kitchen.
Now that we've discussed the first P, positivity, let's talk about the second, planning.
If you don't have a plan in mind, you're more apt to just get back to some of your unhealthy habits.
How about routines? How does a routine help an FCS patient?
Some really great ideas for routines would be to develop a FCS-friendly shopping list.
Here are a couple more tips to help keep you on track and stay healthy.
Batch prepare foods. Cut up some veggies, cut up some fruit, put it into see-through containers in your fridge so you know what you've got. And then maybe it's time to grill for the weekend, and you are gonna grill some extra things. So then you've got your lean proteins, you've got your veggies, and then you only need to put together some whole grains or something. Develop a FCS-friendly pantry. And you can start with maybe 6 or 8 items that you wanna have on hand in case you are in a pinch. Keep track of how hydrated you are. FCS patients should stay hydrated. I think most of them know that there is increased risk of pancreatitis if you're not hydrated. And tip number 4 is be sure to read that food label. It has such important information on it, especially how many grams of total fat there are in a serving.
You can download the How to Read a Food Label sheet on FCSFocus.com. Mary, what about grocery shopping?
Start with tip number 1, which is creating that food list so you know what you're shopping for. You're less likely to stray. Number 2 tip is don't go hungry, because then you definitely will stray.
Or maybe don't write the list while you're hungry either. I can imagine.
And then tip number 3 is to really look toward the perimeter of the store rather than the interior, because the perimeter is where you see all the healthier foods, the produce, and the essentials that an FCS patient needs to manage their FCS.
Mary, one of the issues facing FCS patients is the inability to eat out socially with friends and family. How can an FCS patient plan ahead?
Well, there are a few tips for that. Tip number 1 would be that you could consider taking your own food into the restaurant with you. Number 2, read the menu before you go to the restaurant. So most of the menus are online now, and you can take a look at what kinds of foods you might be offered.
What kinds of foods should you be looking out for?
Those would be things that would start with crispy or fried or in a butter sauce. And then the things that you'd want to look for would be steamed, grilled without oil, poached, which brings us to the 3rd tip, is that you might want to take the wallet card with you.
And you can actually download the FCS Focus wallet card on FCSFocus.com as a part of the care book. Now that we've covered the first 2 Ps, positivity and planning, let's move on to the 3rd, preparation.
Here are 2 ways to add flavor without adding fat. Number 1, build complex flavors throughout the cooking process. For example, For a pasta dish, saute garlic and onion in a teaspoon of MCT oil to release the aromatic scents. Then integrate a fat-free bolognese sauce to merge the flavors. Then sprinkle with fresh basil, dried oregano. Each new ingredient adds a new flavor to the mix. Tip number 2, use flavor agents such as herbs, spices, and vinegars. Herbs and spices are incredible flavoring agents, and again, they add flavor without adding fat. So use delicate herbs like mint or basil with delicate vegetables like zucchini and tomatoes. Use hearty herbs like sage, rosemary, and thyme with hearty vegetables like potatoes and rutabaga. As far as spices go, they're your best ally for adding flavor, as almost all are fat and sugar-free. Use spices liberally in cooking and with snacks. For instance, sprinkling cayenne pepper over orange slices isn't only tasty, but the capsicum in the cayenne aids digestion. Tip number 3, instead of drinking juice or soda, drink seltzer with a splash of lemon or lime. You can always use sliced cucumbers and strawberries in regular water to create your own spa water.
All great tips and ones you can integrate into your life today and live a better, healthier, and safer life. And you can have more fun doing it as well. Let's review the key concepts from this video. We talked about the 3 Ps: positivity, planning, and preparation. We discussed why creating routines is important and how to read food labels in order to make wise food purchases. We talked about some useful tips to make flavorful meals without adding fat. My name is Kelly Smith, and thank you for joining us on the second video in our series, Living a Healthier FCS Lifestyle. Watch our next video in the series, where we will be focusing on MCT oil, the only oil safe for use by some FCS patients. For more information and tips to help set the stage for your success, go to fcsfocus.com.